What's up, good people? Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. It's your boy, I'm Tommy.
That's him. And I'm Lance.
Facts.
And today, we're talking guns.
Yeah. Now, we know that weapons are a serious topic, but we're taking it from a perspective that's not from the news, not from social media. It's from our experience with the weapons.
Yep. We trained with them. We carried them. We respected them. But the civilian world, that's a different story. It's a different beast.
Kind of different, you know. But let's talk about the double-edged view of gun culture in America through the eyes of us, two veterans.
Yes. What was your early experience or memory with firearms growing up? And how did it shape your views, your future views?
So the earliest, I think, was around 11 or 12. Mm-hmm. And my uncle, Michael, my mother's brother, for some reason, I just remember we were sitting around at my grandmother's house.
Okay.
And we were talking about food. And he brought up something about the taste of rabbit. Mm. And I was like, not the Easter Bunny.
No, God. Little bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest.
So after that little conversation, he just was strongly motivated to get me out there hunting.
Okay.
And of course, you had to wait till Nettie Jones approved it. But so we went out hunting. We were in the woods. I don't even remember what part of town we were in. Mm-hmm. It was a nice little drive. And this is how far long ago it just popped in my head. He used to have an 8-track adapter so that he could play regular cassettes because his radio had 8-track in it. Yep. I can't remember. It was white. I think it was a Chrysler or something, but yeah. Ooh, I just aged myself.
Ooh, I know.
All right. But yeah, so while we're out in the woods walking, he pulled out a 10-gauge shotgun, single shot. And we just set off with our road guard vest, and walking into the woods. And I wasn't ready for the sound of a 10-gauge up close.
It's loud.
Man. So Middletown, you may not know this, right?
I wouldn't.
Well, you just quit hating.
Is it world renowned?
Nah, it should be.
Okay.
Because, I guarantee you anybody from Middletown will agree.
Okay.
The 4th of July fireworks celebration used to be on point.
Okay.
I'm talking, it was long. The fireworks were amazing, and the boom used to echo off the houses around it.
Feel it.
Oh, man. It was out by the Middletown High School. I remember that. But it was an amazing. It's definitely in the top 5 that I've ever been to, and
that's impressive.
I've been around the world a few times.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about back in the day.
Back in the day. Okay.
I don't know how it's evolved since then, and it could have been only looking through a lens of a kid.
Yeah.
So that's possible, but I'm standing on it.
All right.
Right.
That's good. I like it.
But we were walking out, and we were specifically hunting quail, rabbit, and squirrel. I think that was the time. I think. But the reason I say quail is because we were walking, and at a certain point, while we're walking, triggered a noise, and a bunch of quail just took off. Yeah. And he just started shooting. I'm like, ah! And I had little earplugs in, but that was loud. That scared the crap out of me. So that's my first experience with. And I never leave a story open. He did get rabbit. Not on that trip. I tried rabbit next time.
Okay.
I don't think we caught a daggone thing. Well, I think he maybe killed a couple birds. But anyway. So, yeah, that's my first experience.
Get you a lucky rabbit's foot?
Nah, man.
Oh, okay.
And I tried rabbit, and it's not that good to me.
Yeah. It's a wild game.
No, it doesn't taste like chicken.
Yeah. I tell you, we didn't hunt. My father wasn't a hunter or anything like that. So
mine either.
I know that he had a couple of like 22s because he had like a little gun rack in his room.
Oh, really?
So I know he had a couple of 22s. But he didn't. But as far as like going out to like a gun range or anything like that, I don't Can't remember, don't recall. I think we might have, he might have taken it over to my grandparents' house and shot in the backyard because they had a real big backyard. And I know I had one of my uncles that would hunt, but I never went hunting or anything like that. So I mean, I had like the little rubber band guns and BB guns. We had BB guns.
Did you ever have slingshot?
Had slingshot. Yeah. Had water guns. You know, all of that stuff like that. But as far as like until I got into the Army, actually, carrying one, firing one, taking apart, cleaning, all of those things that you had to do in order to make sure it works properly and operated. Didn't do any of that stuff till I got into ROTC. Right. Say ROTC is so I was 18 years old. So.
Okay. Yeah, the first time I ever cleaned one or took one apart, that was military as well. Yeah. So in your opinion, how did the military change your perspective on gun ownership, use, or responsibility?
As far as like I guess my perspective on it is like because we had the weapons we were carrying them for a reason, for protection, for war. Yeah. Yeah. So it wasn't for hunting or anything like that. And I understand that folks go hunting and all of that, do all of that stuff. But when you fire a M16, which was an assault rifle, we're firing with M5s and M4s and all that stuff now. But why would you need that in order to hunt a deer? Or
knowing what it does,
knowing that the damage that's inflicted in it, and then just being working in the environment where I worked in and seeing the damage that those things cause. I mean, I'm not against folks owning weapons. But some of the types of weapons that
and the amount,
that's probably the biggest thing. The amount that folks have can homes. Accumulate. It's like I don't get it. And I understand that it's not everybody's not a crazy person. Everybody just likes everybody because you have some folks that collect older weapons. Yeah, it's a hobby. Older weapons and things like the older guns and things like that, weapons, etc. But some of these, like with the silencer, and it's like, why does a normal citizen, sit? Why do you need that? What do you, other than, are you a sniper? Yeah, are you an assassin? Are you? It's like that. It's just it's baffling, and we have a bunch of. I feel like we have a bunch of them in the United States. It's
legal and illegal.
Yeah, so if you talking about changing amendments and doing all, the Second Amendment was made back in a time where they used their weapons.
There was lawlessness.
Yeah, for protection, for real protection, for feeding the family. Yeah. Because they weren't just used for war and shooting. They were used to go hunt food, that people actually really needed. So it was a real necessity to have them back whenever that, was back whenever they, we did the Constitution and all, the right to bear arms.
It's one of them old rules that nobody tries to adjust.
Yeah,
and evolve.
And it's like nobody can take. We have so many of them in our country. Nobody's gonna. You can't. It's like we have people that. We could. The arm our citizens could go out and fight with the weapons that they the number of weapons and stuff that we could supply to our military twice over probably. But again, I'm not against folks owning weapons or having weapons, because you should be able to own it. You should be able to own one. But it's like it certainly is the types, the amount that some folks have, and then just some of the people that are getting them, because some of the folks that have been getting them and able to get them is just like Because because again, I mean, we'll go back to this. We've talked about this before. We have a really we have a pretty bad mental health problem in our country. And if somebody can go in that has a mental health problem and get a weapon, get an assault weapon or whatever, and ammo and all of that stuff, go into your local sporting goods store and pick up one.
Yeah, we're
going to have some of the incidents and accidents and things that we have seen, you know, and the large number, the large number that we have. So things like that need to truly be looked at and regulated, and not dictated by a gun lobby or whatever, you know. So I mean, but that's my opinion.
No,
that's my
I get it. I say the military changed my perspective on gun ownership because you realize what their true meaning is, what their intent is. The intent of a weapon is to kill somebody.
Yeah, it's a bad intent.
All right. And we had the M16 and the round that we shot out of it, the 5.56, you know, it's a tumbling round, right? So when you shoot it at somebody or something and it hits bone, it doesn't just go through the bone. You know, the bullet tumbles up or down the bone. So it's meant to kill you. And if nothing else, it's meant to disable you and take you out of fight, right? Yep. So that's what I learned most about it. Being a soldier, first off, I had experience to where you qualify. Used to be once a year, and then it turned to twice a year. And then being a drill sergeant who was responsible for introducing weapons to soldiers and then ensuring that we not only introduced how to use it, but how to be safe using it, because I can't tell you how many times I was on that firing line and soldier turn around and pointing a weapon, you know, at you, and you having to swerve to get out of the way and then
tackle them down.
Well, because if you touch them, you're going to murder them. So you got to be careful of not going too far over, you know. So, so my relationship with weapons has always been kill and safety first. That's it. I mean, we've changed the way we carried the weapon because we had to be ready to use it, right? And so we used to carry it at the low ready now instead of up in the air. That's how we used to carry it when I was in the when I first came in. So the culture for the military specifically is they're more familiar with weapons and 9mm and 45, depending on what your unit carries. And so the desire for me to have a weapon outside of the uniform, I was always scared to have one. And the reason I was scared to have one is because I've always had a temper. You know what I'm saying? And my temper was this far from putting my hands on somebody.
I agree with you, Tony. I mean, outside of the military, I never felt a need to have one, knowing what it, you know, why we carried it, what we used it for. I was like, I live in America. I shouldn't have to.
Well, just not that. It's just there's a lot of consequences to having a weapon, and it go bad for you. You know what I mean? And so, in my opinion, and you also got to remember that I was mainly taking care of myself for most of my life, and marriage was way later in my life, and having a family. My son came and stayed with me, but didn't live with me every day. So I was always only concerned about protecting myself. So I never, and I lived in the barracks, you know what I'm saying? So that that gun, and it wasn't a culture that was passed on to me by my family. Right. So the need to have a weapon just wasn't a thing. And then when I found out what they could do, it doubled down on why I didn't need to have one, because I could quickly find myself in some trouble. Putting hands on somebody is completely different than putting a hole in them.
Right.
Especially when I know I can hit my targets,
Permanent.
Yeah. So, but when we talk about responsibility, it's like the two things I told you. We were taught to kill, but we were also taught to be safe, because combat, if you're not careful, you're killing friendlies and you're killing your friends. Friendly meaning people that are fighting on your side that may not be from your country, and friends meaning people in your unit. Because, and I'll tell you a story that happened in basic training where Private E1, straight from the streets of Middletown, Ohio. And I say it like that because I wasn't in the streets, but you can find yourself in a bad way at any city. But we were in our last field training exercise, FTX, and I was on shift, right, for the perimeter. And in basic training, when you're out at a field training exercise, basically what you're getting evaluated on is how you build a site,
okay,
and then how you maintain a site, and then how you secure a site. Okay, so I was out on the perimeter, which means I was responsible for a certain sector or a certain area of fire, and the way drill sergeants test that is by attacking you. And what usually happens is drill sergeants will ask their battle buddies from another unit to come and attack our yeah, absolutely, to see, because you got motivated enemy who wants to have fun and not be the ones in foxholes. And yes, we dug foxholes back then with grenade slumps. Now look that up, suckers. But so I was out there, and it was like 2 a.m, and no matter how strong you are as a private, when they put you on 4-hour shift, at some point during the doggone 8 weeks you're there, you're gonna get sleepy.
I was about to say, you sleeping or you daydreaming someplace?
So it's like 2 a.m, and they attack us. And all you hear is simulator rounds going off, artillery, you have blanks being fired, and then you have smoke grenades, right? And if you're sleepy, you wake up drowsy, and you forget where you are, and now all of a sudden you like, oh my gosh, right? So as soon as I hear it, I'm trained now. I'm basic trained. This is our last FTX. I'm trained, so I get high on my elbows, and I got my M16 tucked into my right shoulder, and I'm just looking for targets and just firing blanks. Pop, 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 pop. And I'm saving lives, people. And so drill sergeants, back then, they used to walk around with the rods of a weapons cleaning kit, and they just screw them in, so they'd be about maybe a yard long, or about 3 feet long, whatever.
Tapping your tableau.
So all of a sudden, I get whacked in the head with and this is metal, by the way, but I have my helmet on. So I get whacked in the head, private. Well, he said, "Pri." That's how he used to say. "What the bleep are you doing, private? What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "Drill sergeant, I'm defending the perimeter." He said, "Bleep, bleep, bleep, the perimeter is that way." So
you fired back into the.
I'm killing everybody, all of my friends, and it's a funny story, but that's a link to reality. So say you're not trained properly on a weapon, and you get caught up in that moment, and in war, not just one thing's happening, and you lose your sense of direction and what to do, and you turn around, you're killing everybody that's your friend, right? And people who are asleep, people who are cooking for you, all that stuff. So that's what I learned from the military when it comes to weapons. And then over the years, I'd say this. I have met plenty of people where it's their hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you got people that can talk down a weapon and well, maybe you should use. And then you've got the special operations people who it's their whole job to know all the weapons. Right? Mm-hmm. So that they can know how to fire any possible weapon they could run into. So right. I get the hobby of it. My only concern is the fact that if you have a weapon, are you trained to safely use that weapon?
Right.
Because
that's the main thing.
And then the second thing I'm worried about is, like you said, there's a lot of weapons out there that are unaccounted for, mm-hmm. which is something you don't do in the military. Every weapon's accounted for, just like every piece of brass, the cartridge, and the daggone everything that goes with the weapon, right? All the pieces of it. So accountability, and then the fact that there's so many weapons out there.
Yep.
What about you?
Yeah, that's what I would call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I answered it first.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. Maybe you had some more to add.
No,
Dang, you ain't got to be rude about it.
No,
That's just disrespectful.
No.
All right.
You did good. What concerns do you have about how guns are viewed, glorified by civilians today?
I'll say it ain't just a civilian problem, because privates come in the Army thinking that weapons are.
Well, you have a lot of folks in the military.
Yeah, that ain't right.
That have a bunch of They have a bunch of weapons. Because I, have friends and stuff that have a lot of weapons. But it's like I know. They,
the consequences.
I know those individuals, and I know that.
But that's my thing.
Attention.
So my concerns are that not everybody that has a weapon or owns a weapon truly understands the consequences of having that weapon. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people have weapons because of the Second Amendment. I think a lot of people have weapons because they want to defend themselves or their families. But have they ever shot a weapon at somebody? Or have they ever seen what a bullet looks like and what it does to a human? And so the hunters, they have a better perspective. But I'm talking about the civilians that all they do is shoot at paper targets.
They know what the consequences are of.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's my biggest concern, because weapons are glorified in the United States. You go to, I was stationed in South Korea for a total of a combined 4 years. Never heard a sound of anything of a weapon in their life, civilian life. Because they're not allowed over there. You know what I'm saying? They have knives. The only military presence is there, or the only weapons you see over there are from their military and our military. But crime, you're not going to see a weapon. It's more and more because of the evolution of man. Mm-hmm. But when I was over there 20 years ago, they never even, matter of fact, they would never even show them in movies. And if they had them in movies, you never saw them fire them in movies.
Really?
Yeah, that's how it used to be. So they're glorified. And if civilians are managing them, keeping them clean, understand the safety requirements of it, and then understand the consequences of killing somebody or shooting at somebody, because another thing I hope that people are taking into consideration, if I have a 9mm, and somebody's in my house and I shoot, that bullet can go through the wall and kill your kids, can kill your family. So orientation, knowing how to where to fire, when to fire, that's the stuff you're concerned about. Yeah.
When to use it, when to actually really use it.
Yeah. So those are my concerns. Now, can I ask, what about you?
Same. I mean,
because you ain't answered this one, sucker.
Yeah, no. It really. I mean, same thing, man. It's like it's it's so many of them, and then you wonder how experienced the folks understand the consequences of the gun and what they're using it for, what they're buying it for, and it's like, are you training up? I mean, you might have it, but have you ever gone to the range? If you have it, then you need to be going to the range so that you know how to actually use it.
And it's not like a bicycle.
No.
So it's not something you go to the range one time and think you're proficient.
No.
No. But you have a unique perspective because you have not only seen the results of someone being shot, but you've seen the effort and the consequences of trying to save their life. And
I feel the same. I mean, I feel the same way about motors. I don't have a motorcycle. Haven't ridden a motorcycle. Don't have want to buy a motorcycle. But like my father had one. My brother is a motorcycle rider. I got uncles.
But because of what you've seen,
but I would never. I don't know. I don't want to get on. It's just after knowing, seeing and being in cases where folks have either brakes have locked up, motorcycle accident. I mean, just the devastation that. Just like I have no desire, and I know that. I mean, it looks fun. It looks cool, and I mean, and the same thing with the weapons, with the guns, man. It's like, I mean, it's it's amazing, the damage that a little piece of lead can inflict on the body, So
I'll give you a story. So I was when I was stationed at Fort Eustis, the second time in Virginia. We used to go to this club, and some people may call it a strip club, but it wasn't. It was more than that.
Okay.
It's a place where friends could hang out and play pool and stuff.
Yeah.
But
foosball.
No, it wasn't a foosball. But so the owner, he had ambitions of changing it from just a strip club to making it like a R&B night, a hip hop night, and a Latino night.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so I was an instructor at the academy, and a lot of us instructors, when we'd get off, it's always like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So we'd go there and just have a bar, not to see girls dance or anything. I can't believe some of y'all thinking that. Wow. But anyway, I was a pretty big guy, and the other guys I was with, they were in shape.
Okay.
And so he actually just came up and was like, you know what? Hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And I know y'all are good people because we may or may have been to the club a few times.
Okay.
Stop asking.
Regulus.
Stop looking at me like that.
Regulus. Okay.
But
it's okay. Everybody got to have a hobby.
And he asked us if we wanted to be security.
Okay, I understand that. I was just with security.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just wait till the story's finished before you judge me. Gosh.
Go ahead.
And we was like, yeah, man, that's cool, because he was like, he'll pay us a certain amount. He was like, the only issue is it's going to be late nights. And we was like, come on, man. At that time, I was in my late 20s, you know what I'm saying? Sleep. Who needs sleep? But so we started working there. And then moving on, he started bringing in acts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, oh man, what's my boy's name? Juvenile came in one night. He didn't perform, but he came and hung out one night, right? So I had to guard Juvenile a night. Okay. And that was fun and interesting. That's a whole nother story we talk about. But there was one night where we set up security so that 15 feet from the door. Well, let me set up. So when you walked into the first door, there was like an entranceway, which was probably about 8 feet long. And then you'd go through another door, which would get you to the club, but you had the cashier there. And then once you go past the cashier, opens up into a club. So when we had large crowds, we were expecting large crowds, we'd push our station out from the front door 15 feet, so that we could check license and it wouldn't get overly crowded, right? We'd have some space to work and we could see it. So we had 2 people out at a table to check IDs. And then we had 2 people at the door, and the 2 people at the door were the most important.
Checking for weapons?
No, the 2 people at the door, yes, but the 2 people at the door was the last line of defense before you got into that. So the people at the perimeter, 15 feet, they had the wands, so they would do the actual check, but we would have to just be aware all the time. And that's where I always was. And so we're going, having a regular night, and then a dude, young cat, he was a regular, and he was coming in, and he was mad because we wouldn't let him in. And the reason we wouldn't let him in is because it was 21 or over, and he was 19. And he was like, man, I come here all the time. I said, but tonight is that, right? And so he was on one. And so we're just sitting there. I had my hand on his stomach, man. I was like, chest, whatever. I'm like, hey, man, you can't get in there. And, you know, he fell back. And then one time he went around and tried to sneak in behind the dude on the other side. Yeah. So when he tried to do that, the other guy got a little physical with him, like pushed him, no punches or anything, because one thing we tried to do is diffuse first, and then violence of action that second. You know, so what that means is
the appropriate amount.
If we made the decision to go to violence, it was everything you got to stop this. So violence of action, right? And so he stopped him and just pushed him back. And he's like, go on, man. I can't remember the name because it was a long time ago. But, and he was out in the area where the parking lot was, just going off. I'm going to call my man. You know, my man's, that's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And so we was like, okay, little fella, just gone somewhere, right? But what we didn't realize at first was he called his boy to bring a 9mm to the club. And he ended up, his boy came, it was like 45 minutes later. His boy came, and then he had a weapon, and we saw him again, but he was further out than the first 2 that were 15 feet now. But anyway, he walks up to the thing, is like, can I get in? And you're like, no. So that joker pulled out his gun from his jacket, just started firing, right? And so I'm right there at the door. I'm like, what the? And the 2 people that were out front turned around and took off running. And both of them got shot. One of them got shot in his left, like, kidney, and the other one got shot, like, in his shoulder. Yeah, shoulder or leg. I can't remember. But once they got through, you know, we had to hold the door open for them to get through, and a bullet actually went where my head was. Yeah. So the short version of the shorter version of this is while the 2 guards who got shot turned around and ran into the club, the bullets moved around in their body. So the guy that got shot in the kidney, the bullet hit every major organ in his, except his heart. Yeah. And he had the, what do you call it when you have the bladder you got pee into all the time?
Colostomy.
Yeah, he had that. And then the other guy,
ileostomy.
I can't remember if it's his shoulder, but anyway, it tumbled down the limb. So it messed up his leg. So both of them have limps. Both of them forever changed, right? And the fact that I could have been shot in the head, right? And I ended up having I was being held by the as a witness, and I had to stay hidden in the back of the cop car. So I had to lay down in the back of a cop car.
Wow.
Because I saw everything that happened and the dude there, and I ended up having to testify against the dude. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. But that's just like, that ain't even in combat, and I got to see the consequences of a weapon, and he was firing at those two, and up until they led into yeah. So ain't no telling who could have got shot, or it went through because the doors were glass. You know what I'm saying? So just having to rely on luck for stuff like that is not something you should do.
Because he couldn't get into the club.
Yep, all because he's come every other night when there's nothing major there. But because he couldn't come in that night, he wanted to act a fool. Yeah, so that was crazy. But how do you feel about the idea that more guns equals more safety?
Negative.
There are politicians that are saying that now.
I don't.
But we're not talking about TV or TikTok. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't believe it. I mean, because you could, if you have all those guns, who's gonna fire them all?
Yeah.
You know, and then who's gonna who's gonna maintain them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you could have a bunch of guns, and then what are you gonna do with them? I mean, what's the where are you not safe? Where's the unsafe part of it that warrants a gun? You know, it's like that's the main thing right there. It's like, okay, how unsafe do you have to be in order to have to pull out a gun?
Oh, yeah.
Because the only reason why you would have to pull out a gun is if somebody else had another gun and they were pointing it at you or your family or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, but so it's like, and that it only takes one.
Yeah.
It only takes one, especially with the amount of ammo that some of these weapons can hold. It only takes one.
Yeah.
So a bunch of them is not gonna make us any safer than what we are. Because if that was the case, then the U.S. would be the
safest
place in the world. Yeah.
So, I mean, 100% agree with everything you said. And I'll just take it a step further. Does everybody who has a weapon know how to safely clean that weapon, to maintain it, and oil it? Secondly, do they know how to store it as well as store the ammo? Thirdly, do they know how to properly load it so that they can fire it? And then do they know how to point and aim and kill the target?
Yep.
And then lastly, do they know how to clear it so that it's not sitting there for their kids or somebody to take it and then accidentally kill somebody?
Yep.
So there's so many steps that, because we're trained on the weapon, there's so many steps that we know have to be enforced, because even the best trained soldier sometimes can get lazy and forget a step, right? But the most disciplined soldiers never do, all right? And those are usually the better soldiers. But my point is, knowing how to do those things and then actually doing those things, those are responsibilities that every gun owner should have.
Right.
And if you're not going to step up, because nobody's forcing them to clean it right, load it right, and all that stuff. If you're not going to be forced and held to that standard, then there's absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
Well, you can injure yourself. I mean,
that's
if you
my
don't,
point.
Yeah, you injure yourself. So,
that's my point.
I mean, and again, what you said before about the kids and stuff, it's like, I understand that kids that live in rural areas, they absolutely need to know how to have the weapons out there. It's not for people more so, it's for animals, especially if you live in a place like Alaska where you have bear and just wildlife that's wild, you know, in the wild. You have to be able to
and for those that have families that hunt, I get all that.
So yeah, folks that actually are responsible. We're talking about people who have them just to have, just to have them, just to say,
I got a gun.
I got this, and then are not doing all of the steps and things that a responsible gun owner should do. So,
and a worst case scenario, say somebody buys a 45 because they think a 45 handgun is the best thing they could have, right? And say they live in your average house and they fire a 45 in their house. Do you all know how many walls that 45 is going to go through? And then every wall it goes through, whoever's on that other side could be a victim. Think about that now. And so we're not saying anti-gun. We're just saying if there's not a way to also ensure that everybody that has a weapon knows how to use and maintain and unload that weapon, then you're just aspect of it. You're literally a kid in a candy shop, right? Yeah. So,
as veterans, what should our role be, if any, in shaping the conversation around gun rights and gun safety?
I think it just goes back to what we started on, and you mentioned it. Stop yelling at each other. And if we're veterans and you're trained, especially if you're trained and still fully competent, the main argument we should have is, are you safe?
Right.
Are they safe? Is the operator of that weapon and the maintainer of that weapon, are they trained and capable of deploying that weapon properly? That should be our argument.
Are they mentally
agreed? I'm just trying to keep it in where our lane is.
Yes.
My lane, because you have more of the medical touch. But my lane is, I really don't have a problem with people having a weapon. Of course, now that you brought up mental, I can't act like that's not a thing. So I apologize. Yes, and mentally capable, right? Are you up to what is required to maintain and employ that weapon?
Yeah.
That should be our voice as veterans, as people who've handled weapons. And for 3 years straight, I had a weapon on me at least every other week. And I'm talking range, I'm talking teaching people how to clean it, how to break it apart, and all that stuff. Yeah. And then I'm talking about the rifle, and then as far as the handgun, my last 10 years, that was my primary weapon, So that's our argument. That's our contribution to this discussion is how safe are these weapons, these weapon owners, how much of the safety aspect and the maintenance, how much is that being taught instead of just being brushed over?
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's sick, because I'm absolutely not against anyone owning a weapon. Yeah. It's just, again, go back to what we were talking about at the beginning. It's the some of the types, the amount.
Do you need an AK-47 to hunt a pig?
Right? Do you need like 5 of them or 7? It's like certain things you understand. I mean, so I feel like with knowing that in our country, then other folks that probably normally wouldn't have one feel like, hey, I need to go get me a weapon just in case the Armageddon starts.
Yeah, and to bring in the noise that's in the background. I mean, the way the weapons are talked about and the way the immigrants are talked about, Armageddon's tomorrow.
Yep.
That's the energy that everybody has behind it. So it could lead to people having a weapon. And I'm telling you, I've had the experience of seeing people who've never smelled a weapon, let alone fired one, having to introduce them to that weapon. And the first thing people usually do with that weapon is pull that trigger. And when you pull that trigger and it's loaded, you have no idea.
It's a consequence.
What's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a consequence behind that. Behind that, it's that trigger pull is a consequence.
And that bullet goes further than 5 feet.
Yes, it
does. No matter what you're shooting, that bullet is meant to go further than 5 feet. Now, a body can stop some bullets, or 2 bodies could stop some bullets. Some bullets, it take 3 houses to stop it, And matter of fact, when I was in Bosnia, we were out in our maintenance tent. I've talked about that. And the Bosnians and the Croatians, when they get married, they celebrate by shooting weapons up in the air.
Those things come back.
That's the thing. And they used to come down by us. You see what I'm saying? So a bullet goes up in the air, it comes down.
And it'll hit.
And the impact of it coming down can be just as deadly as the impact of it being shot, So there's just, my biggest concern is the safety. Yep. Of the use and the knowledge and understanding of the operator.
Yep. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. So
yeah. So do you have a something that comes straight to mind as when you've had to treat somebody with a bullet gunshot injury? Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on where they're shot. I mean, because some can be where they go through and you have to have a couple of different specialty services come in because it hit a
bone,
leg,
organ.
bone. So you got an ortho person that's come in, but then it also hit some
veins,
arteries and veins. So then you got a vascular guy that has to come in to fix, or you got general surgery. I mean, those are general surgery. The trauma guys are the ones that mostly take care of a lot of those things because that's what they're the quick. Let me fix it, get it straight, and then
to save your life.
And then once they get stable enough, we'll bring them back to the.
Hopefully you can walk again.
I mean, so it just really depends on where that person was shot. What they were shot with. Because the different calibers, some of them it doesn't matter what. If it's big enough, it's like they don't even make it to us. We don't see them. But it's just it's a devastating thing, man. Injury to try to treat, and fix and bring somebody back from, and then understand why, especially in our country where it's like we're not at war, we're not at war. What's going on with this, because you would expect some, but not the amount that we see here in our civilized
you'd think
country. So
and I'll say that movies are getting closer and closer to having a fairly accurate display of a bullet wound, because seeing a bullet wound in person on a person, it is a small hole sometimes. And
it'd be a small entry, but a large exit if it goes out.
And then seeing the exit wound, you're like, that little hole turned into that,
right?
So it's like, it's
check out the pit on Max.
Oh, yeah.
You want to see some stuff that they're getting right as far as
pretty close to realism.
Some of those mass gun shootings and then the injuries that are coming from some of those incidents.
Yeah. And then this last thing I'll say is going to be involve the headlines and the TikTok and the news is that it amazes me that some politicians can speak every day or every moment that they are in front of a mic, can say that immigrants are a problem, it should be dealt with immediately and all that stuff. But when a school is shot up, the first thing out of the same people, the first thing out of their mouth is guns don't kill people, people kill people. But you'll stand 20 toes down. Now, no, I'm exaggerating, but when it comes to immigrants in this nation, but when you have to answer questions about why 5 kids in elementary are dead, and the only thing your response is a quick mention of, hey, it wasn't the weapon that did it, it was the shooter. I don't get that. That's all I'm saying. I don't get that. Where's the same energy?
The weapons that they're using are doing it.
Yeah.
They're not shooting BB guns. They're not going in and shooting folks with BB guns.
Yeah, so that's my one little political moment. So
yeah, I hear you. I mean, and the immigrants, when you look at the facts, they're not the ones that are killing the majority of
definitely not schoolrooms
folks.
And clubs and churches.
Yeah. So look, we know guns and we know them. We know them fairly well.
Yes.
We train with them and we use them defending our country. We've seen both sides of the spectrum with them.
Yeah, and we know there are real consequences when you're dealing with a weapon, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
Can they save your life? Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you know how to employ that weapon and maintain that weapon properly so that it can save your life? Who knows? But gun culture isn't just about rights. It's about responsibility.
Yep, that's a big thing. Let's stop yelling past each other and start talking about what matters. Safety, access, education, and culture.
Absolutely. Safety. Execution. And tell us if your time in uniform shaped the way you see it too. Let us know where you stand. Yeah. I'd love to know if you agree with us. I'd love to know if you disagree with us.
Tell me. I want to hear some stories. I mean, because I like hearing what other folks are thinking. It helps me get a better perspective.
Absolutely.
So, as always, also follow us at 4 Titles, 1 Truth on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where you can see us.
Watch us now.
Yeah, up close and personal.
Also, leave us a review. We really would appreciate it. And share this episode, if for nothing else, for conversation.
Just
ask somebody to listen to it and then have a conversation with them.
That's right.
Especially if you're thinking about getting a weapon for the first time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because one thing I can tell you for sure is, if you had a weapon back in the day, refamiliarize yourself with a weapon now before you start thinking about, should I have one now?
Yeah.
Because it's not like riding a bike, like I said.
Yeah. And join us next time. Please come back and see us. So we can always
keep the conversation going.
All right.
All right now. Holla.